Hey, what's up, guys? Jeffrey here with E2M. Coming at you today with some really exciting news. I guess we know half of this anyway is absolute news, and the other half is somewhat speculation. So let's dive right in. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, I came across this map here of the floor outlook for E3 this year and the reserve floor space. And one thing that immediately sticks out is the fact that Sony and Nintendo will dominate the E3 show floor this year. And man, look at all that space. I am so excited to see what's coming. Now, the other part of this that it's kind of hearsay right now, but word on the street is that Nintendo will likely reserve a theater to actually give a live presentation during this year's E3. Now, if you haven't been around, if you haven't been watching, the past couple of years, they've kind of switched to their Nintendo Directs, which, don't get me wrong, I have absolutely loved Nintendo Directs. I love watching them. But it's something about this new Switch coming out that's this magical console that, you know, there's haters out there, there's haters everywhere, let's just be honest. But the fact is that everyone that puts their hands on this thing falls in love with it immediately. Everyone that has tried this, they've all said, yes, this is the real deal. This thing, you know, it got torn apart. They looked at the inside. They said, this is a very, very good piece of equipment. This is a very good piece of electronics. And it's definitely worth the price tag. Now we look forward, and what people don't really understand is the fact that this launch is almost like a soft launch for Nintendo. They're launching this, and we can relate this to something like a business launching, but then they have the grand opening. Well, I think this holiday is really going to be Nintendo's grand opening when Mario comes out, and this year at E3, that's where the hype train is really going to take off. You see by this floor space, they have a lot of, there's rumors of all kind of stuff being worked on and all kind of secrecy and all these things. And seeing all this floor space means there's a lot of games. There is a lot of stuff coming. And the fact is, if they get on that stage, it's not hardware that they're going to show off, guys. It is software. So if they do a show, this is going to be just like the Sony show from last year, where they just got up on stage and they showed preview after preview after preview. The difference being that these IPs are IPs that are amazing. Like, imagine a new Metroid back to back with an open world Pokemon game, back to back with more gameplay of Mario, back to back with a new Pikmin. This is just going to blow everyone away, and especially considering all this floor space is reserved, there's a huge possibility that a lot of these things will be played. So I think that we're going to see a lot more third-party support that's going to come out of the woodworks here at E3, and I also believe that Nintendo, man, they're going to have a lot of surprises, and I'm highly, highly certain that Metroid will be mentioned. I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers, and say, Nintendo, please give us a Metroid, okay? I don't know about you guys, I honestly cannot wait to E3. I look forward to it every year. You know, sadly, I have to say I've never been in person to E3, but I do watch. I watch every single thing that is aired over the internet. I watch all the booths. I watch everyone walk through. One of these years, I will be lucky enough to go, but I don't miss a thing. You know, E3 is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I'm super excited to see Nintendo going all in this year and really dedicating themselves to really doing it up, to really dominating the show floor, essentially. So I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be really good. Now, I had this other question when I was looking online, and there's this other game. I don't know if you've heard of it, and the reviews are coming out now as we speak, okay? So if you look online, you're going to see all these great reviews and all this awesome stuff for this game. I don't know if maybe you've heard of it, called Horizon Zero Dawn, perhaps. Now, here's the thing about this. I have been stoked about this game. Sony, man, they did it right. They started early. They really introduced the game like a year ago, and they have just shoved it into our face. They have shoved it into our minds, into commercials. They've shoved it just everywhere. So everyone knows what this game is, and that's great. Now here's and really the question here: has the hype and the awesomeness and just the absolute greatness of Breath of the Wild, has that overshadowed the launch of Horizon Zero Dawn. Think about the launch of the Switch. Think about the hype behind this. Think about this, the fact that this hardware is going to change gaming. Okay, you know, you can hate Nintendo all you want. You might listen to this and you might say, "Oh, it's not as powerful as the PS4." Yeah, you know, and it's not as. But you know what? If those readings for the how they clock this system are correct that I have looked up online, I'm not going to share them. I'm not huge into sharing those things. So look them up. There's a lot of places. If those are correct, they're not far. This system, which is just a small tablet, it is not far from that power level. So this thing should by all means run slightly less graphical, versions of those first party games. For instance, guess what's coming, or guess what's probably coming? Capcom's on board. They've been made believers, and now they're talking about Resident Evil 7 coming over. So you get Resident Evil 7 on this system, and you know what? You won't be able to convince me that something can't fit, or that it can't run. I honestly believe they could make it run. They could port it. But anyway, back to the question at hand. Horizon Zero Dawn, which looks amazing. I haven't been lucky enough to play it yet. I will be playing this thing on launch. I'm super excited about it. But the issue is, even if I'm in the midst of playing this, if I'm in the middle of the most amazing story that I've ever played in any game, do you know what's going to happen the second that I go this next Thursday night at midnight to GameStop to pick up my Switch, to pick up Breath of the Wild, right? And then I come home with that, I unbox it, I put it in, and guess what's going to happen? All of a sudden, Horizon Zero Dawn is put on hold. It's going to go on the shelf. Because let's face it, the new Zelda Breath of the Wild looks amazing. I have probably watched everyone's YouTube videos. All these people that have gotten Switches and have been posting this stuff, I'm telling you, I've lived in this footage. Except for the spoiler stuff. I tend to go into the spoiler-free areas because I don't want to ruin that for myself. Because I'm a huge fan of the series. Have been since I was a young child. And this is something I don't want to spoil, first of all. And secondly, this is so great and so wonderful that it doesn't matter what other game I'm playing. It really doesn't matter, what I'm trying to review, and it doesn't matter what I do. I'm going to stop whatever's happening and play Breath of the Wild, and I'm sure a lot of other people are going to do it too. So it makes you wonder, like, how much more successful maybe Horizon Zero Dawn would have been had the Nintendo Switch been a month later, or maybe Horizon Zero Dawn been a month earlier, right? So, which this is something you couldn't foresee because Sony had already set this release date. So it's not like they did this on purpose to try to compete. Oh, let's put this one open world game versus this other open world game, right? But the fact of the matter is that my personal opinion is yes, it is going to be overshadowed by this fact, because what Nintendo's doing right now is they're busy winning over third-party developers, and they know this is going to take about a year, okay? They want to win over the third-party developers, and then guess who else they're going to win over? You. Whoever it is listening to this, if you're a gamer, whether you be a PS4 nut, whether you be an Xbox 360 fanboy, whatever you are, Nintendo is intent on winning you over to this concept that you can take all of those games that you have there, and you can take them out of a dock and on the go with you wherever you want to go. If you have that game and you're stuck down in your living room or in your entertainment room and you're sitting there playing, well, the guy, imagine two running commercials side by side. Nintendo, they're playing the same game. He picks the system up, goes and lays in the bed and plays it. The same game that you have to sit in a certain chair in front of a certain TV, in front of a certain system that doesn't move and is not portable. So you can imagine the marketability. You can imagine that Nintendo eventually will even appeal to the haters and the fanboys of the other systems. Why? Because this is amazing hardware that is groundbreaking in its ideas and its function. I've watched the UI videos. I can't wait to try it for myself. It seems really intuitive. It seems really fast. This stuff, you're from zero to game, starting this thing up in just seconds. It looks so great. And I can't wait, honestly. I'm ready to push this thing to its limits. I'm ready to see what it can run, how it can run. And if, I'll put it this way, if anyone from Nintendo or any of you guys out there, there's this big debate and they say, is it worth it? If the game is not as graphically beautiful, is it worth it to be able to pick it up and take it on the go? My answer to that, my opinion, me personally, I say yes, okay? Graphics are not everything. You can dial down some of the graphic fidelity and still have the gameplay, still have the flow, still have all the things that you need, this smooth running game, and then take it on the go. Yes, I absolutely, positively believe that it's worth the trade-off. And which means, yes, you know, don't get me wrong, I love Nintendo and I love PS4. I'm a huge PS4 and Sony fan. And also like Xbox, don't get me wrong. But if one game launches on all three systems and the graphics are fairly comparable, I think this is a no-brainer. I mean, you have to take it with a system that you can take with you in a backpack, you know? I'm constantly on the go, and I'm so excited about the Switch. I can just take this thing with me wherever I go. I can, you know, plug it in if I need to. I've already bought the charging cables. I've got everything ready, and just take it with me wherever I go. Plug it in if need be to charge. You know, it's got, they've already clocked Breath of the Wild on the maximum brightness with the internet on, all this stuff, and it went 2.5 hours. So I know that you at least on the maximum settings get 2.5 hours. Nintendo's got it right. I believe that it's a win-win. So just to recap, guys, be sure to like, comment below. Tell me how you feel about Nintendo coming to this E3 ready to really flex their muscles, to show their software, to really shine this year. Are you excited? Would you rather see a Nintendo Direct and see them function outside of E3? Are you really excited about the fact that they're going to be everywhere? They're going to be on the show floor, they're going to be on stage, and this is the year, remember, that people actually have bought tickets and they're going to go in, the general public. So this is huge, right? Also, tell me what you think about Horizon Zero Dawn. Do you think it's overshadowed by Breath of the Wild? You know, I value everyone's opinion, and remember, you know, what I speak's not gospel. It's just this guy's opinion. So whatever you think, like and comment below. Be sure to subscribe for future videos, future talks. And I certainly appreciate you listening, guys. Y'all have an awesome day. See you.